Etheria Restart. Welcome to a new episode of Pull That Waifu. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that. Now, this will be the first waifu that's going to be on the kinetic part of the banner, which basically, my understanding is kinetic is supposed to be on the same level as the purple and yellow characters that we get, the premium ones that we typically pull for. This is just a different version of the premium characters, which is why you have to use certain different types of currency to pull them. Which I have 40 of these pulls, so if I can't get the character within those 410 pulls, then I'll probably have to use my gems, which is fine. I should have more than enough to pity. So the question is, are we going to have to go to pity? Will I be able to just use this currency and not have to use my gems? Let's take a look. Place your bets and we'll see what happens. Temple number 1.
Good day, Hyperlinker.
Nothing special here.
I'm famous.
Let's just keep going. Nothing so far. And my last of the premium currency. So unfortunately I wasn't able to get it with my premium currency. Now I have to use my gems, which I have plenty of. Of course, because this is considered a premium character, you do have to spend 3,000 gems per 10 pull. Just understand that. Just like the yellows and purples. So that's number 5. This will be number 6 on the 10 pulls. Alright, looks like I'm probably going to have to go to pity. Here's 7, or 70 we should say. Yep, we're going to pity, ladies and gentlemen, so let's do it. And there she is, Luvia, that's her name. So she's kinetic, but she's on the blue side in terms of like elements. So there you go. Alright. So now we get to take a quick peek at her to see basically what she's like. So let's do that. Alright, so when you look at her abilities here, her first skill basically says she deals damage to one enemy, and she will inflict 1 stack of Wither Bloom. So what Wither Bloom does is that basically when your opponent does a healing ability, you absorb 18% of healing based off of her max HP. When the effect expires, naturally, deals indirect real damage equal to remaining unabsorbed amount. Cannot be purified, duration cannot be altered. So this is going to happen whether your opponent likes it or not. So basically, yeah, you absorb healing up to 18% of your max HP. Now, this is probably more of a PvP skill because I don't know that PvE enemies heal, or if they do, it's not that much. So either way, whatever is not healed will be dealt as damage. Now, as far as when the effect expires, it doesn't say, so I have no idea what the timing of this is. I'm not sure if it's just a turn or a certain number of turns. It really doesn't. Oh, never mind. It says it right here. Inflict 1 stack of 2 turn Wither Bloom. So this ability will last for 2 turns. Got it. I didn't notice that the first time. Cool. Well, the second skill deals damage to all enemies. Each hit has a 75% chance to dispel 1 buff from the target and will inflict a 2-turn Wither Bloom. Now, as far as the 75% chance to dispel a buff, I wouldn't go hardcore into effect accuracy. You can maybe use it as a sub ability, but I wouldn't use it as a main stat. I mean, 75% is good enough if you care enough about it, but if you really want 100%, just make effect accuracy one of your sub stats. But either way, again, this is basically making everybody inflicted with this Wither Bloom, which again, absorb some of that healing. Now, the healing absorption, I assume, also means that the enemy will not absorb that percentage of healing and you'll get it instead. And in the duration will be 2
Every
turns.
promise hides a
All right,
desire
skill
to take
3.
something from you.
So
Don't place too much
she
faith in
applies a
promises.
2-turn speed up to
That's how
all
you survive
allies,
longer.
pretty strong. Then deals damage to all enemies, inflicting a 2-turn exile to the main target, so just 1, guaranteed. So it also inflicts a 2-turn speed down to all targets. So your entire team gets a speed bump. Your entire enemy's team gets a speed reduction, and then the main target gets exiled. So what exile does is basically it removes them from combat. You can't do damage, they can't receive damage, they can't receive debuffs, but they can't act either. And it's for 2 turns. So basically you're just removing them from play for a limited amount of time. So what this implicates is that this is more of a PvP skill, by the way. You just pick whoever is the biggest threat that's going to wipe out your party, eliminate them for a while, get rid of all of their supports, and go from there. Or you can eliminate the support that's going to be speeding up the DPS. It kind of just depends. Like, I'm not a PvP guy, so I'm not going to try to really tell you how to use her. The biggest thing you should know is that this cannot be inflicted when there's 1 or fewer enemies, and it cannot be inflicted on monsters. So again, this is not a PvE ability, this is more of a PvP ability. Because most of the enemies you're going to face in a PvE thing are going to be usually monsters. Now there are some game modes that we play that have some non-monsters, so it just kind of depends. But I think primarily this is for PvP. And that's basically it. She basically scales on HP, so I would recommend definitely going for an HP build. Maybe get some crit rate and crit damage just to make sure she can deal some damage herself. And because she does have single target and multi-target abilities, so try to do as much damage as you can. And that's pretty much it. I mean, she's basically supports the team while being able to do damage. And can do some debuffing. Like, she's got a lot going on. Again, she's more of a PvP character than a PvE character, but I still think she will be usable in PvE content. Again, you're increasing everyone's speed with their main skill. You're lowering their speed, so you'll still be able to do stuff. And some of the in-game modes, like Ether Arena or whatever, not Ether Arena, but Ethernet Rally and stuff like that, that's going to help you there too. So she has a lot of usefulness even if you're not a PvP junkie. But yeah, that's basically Luvia in a nutshell. I think she's going to be pretty good. I'm going to build her eventually when I get enough lattice. Speaking of lattices, glad I brought that up. What I'm going to want to do is go to the shop real quick. There's something you're going to want to buy if you go to best picks. Scroll down a little bit and you will see something worth 3,000 crystals. I already passed it, it appears. This isn't it, is it? No, that's the wrong person. I'm looking for the one for Luvia. I know I saw it earlier. Oh, there it is. I found it. The kinetic one. There you go, for Luvia. So I'm going to spend 3,000 gems. This will automatically give her a perfect lattice to start building her abilities up. So definitely I recommend doing that if you plan on building her. 3,000 gems is fine for something so rare, so you might as well. And another thing I want to say here, let's just look at the events like we always do, just to give it a critique. Do we have any events worth discussing? So first of all, we have another quarry, which is one of my absolute favorite events in this game. I love this event. I've already done my attack for the day. Again, I could probably do better, and maybe I'll tinker with a few other builds to see if I can do a little better. But, I mean, I got double S, so I'm happy with that. And then as far as, hold on, let me get this done real quick. There we go. We have a new one So first, I want to say that I'm happy that Etheria Restart is actually giving us new events to help with the rotation. The only issue that I might possibly have if they give too many events is if more events are added that don't give lattices, we're going to have less opportunities to get lattices because they're going to have to fit every event in this rotation unless they're getting rid of certain events, but I don't know. But let's take a look at this new one. This is the Hyper Coliseum Fair Duel. So basically what this is, it's basically PvP, but it's random. Now what this means is that whenever you go to matchmaking, you're going to get paired up against somebody, and you're going to have a pool of 20 characters that you get to pull from. So you don't get to necessarily pick whoever you want. It's going to be 20 characters that's going to appear on the middle of the screen, and then you're going to scroll and just pick one back and forth like you would in Summon Arena. Now, when going back and forth, it's just as you normally would. The character builds, I think, are already pre-done. So I could be wrong, but I don't think this is going to be based off of your own build. This is going to be the game's build. So just keep that in mind. So if a character you pick is not behaving the way your version normally does, it's because it's not your build. At least that's my assumption here. I've only done one fight so far, and I'll say it's interesting. It kind of forces you to think a little more because usually when you're doing Summon Arena, you pretty much know what characters you're going to go for. So you kind of plan based off of what you want to do and what your backups are. However, here that gets thrown out the window because a lot of the characters you typically use may not show up. So you got to actually take the time and say, okay, now I got to rethink all of this. Now, if you happen to see a character you're used to and you know how to play them, then yeah, obviously pick that character you're used to. That's kind of what I did. I started out picking characters that I was used to, and then just for the rest of them, I just made an educated guess on who might work, and I was able to pull off a win. It wasn't super easy either, because at first, they were controlling the crap out of me, but I was able to just make a comeback and just win. So it kind of worked out. And again, that was only because it was 2 characters I used that I was familiar with, so I was able to kind of wiggle my way out of a loss. The event overall is okay. I think this shares a lot of the rewards you would normally get in Summon Arena. Don't know how I feel about these prizes because again, you're not really getting lattices. However, these Etheria currency can get you lattices. So maybe this is okay. I have mixed feelings about the prizes, but I think the Etheria currency might be worth it because you can use those coins to buy lattice pieces and pool currency, like the premium pool currency that you can get. You can use this to buy those. So I'm going to say this is going to be an okay event. I'm not upset at this event at all. Even though I'm not super into PvP, I do think this is the best PvP game out there in terms of gacha games. And I do participate in Summon Arena on occasion just so I can buy premium currency and buy lattices with the currency that you can win. So I'll usually play a few times per week, and then I just stop once I've, gained enough to buy a few things, and then I stop playing for about a week or two. But either way, this is an okay event. I think it's fine. It's kind of fun if you just kind of want to test your skills, do something random. You're not seeing the same old teams over and over. It's going to be different every time, it feels like, and that's a little refreshing. So even if you're not into PvP, I think it's worth trying just for fun. Just have fun with it. And you can put the combat on auto. Now, you will have to manually put it on auto, just like Summon Arena. But yeah, if you don't want to have to deal with strategizing, you can just put it on auto, and they will act for you. But yeah, that's basically Hyper Coliseum, a new event, which I will say is okay. And it only lasts a week, so if you're not into it, it'll be gone next week. But I think that's all I'm going to discuss in this video. Just know that Ember Track's going to be refreshing soon, so you have an opportunity to get more lattices for the new character. If you haven't done Ethernet Rally yet, now's the chance to do it. Unfortunately, I haven't started it yet because I'm still debating if I'm going to make a video or not. However, if I keep procrastinating it, I may just do it off screen. But, it's a different video that I've been considering. So, I don't know. We'll see. Either way, those are the Luvia pulls. Thank you for listening to another episode of Pull That Waifu, and we will see you next time. Later.